phones the Wi-Fi hotspot can see by tracking their MAC addresses, and based on that, it changes the music in the store. Because it can figure out there are more people in the store, so I need to play energetic music and get people out. Or if it's quiet in the store, then they play like Frank Sinatra, and people chill out, and it makes the store look fuller. So sensors are going to be key. I want to give you an example of how they can be used to change the way that a business runs. How many of you have bought clothes where you've tried them on? Okay. So you know the drill. You grab a bunch of clothes, and then someone comes and helps you and says, "Can I help you?" And they take the clothes from you, and then they show you to your fitting room, and then they hang them all up for you. And you think, well, that's helpful. Isn't that nice? Actually, what they're doing when they do that, I used to work in the retail sector for a long time, from a technology perspective. What they're doing is they're eyeballing all of your clothes, and they're figuring out your rough size, your colors, your tastes, and then it's their job to run back into the store and grab a few things that they think will go with what you've got. Try this, this would look great with that blouse, or pair of pants, or whatever, because they're trying to sell you up to buy an outfit. And to do that, it requires them to do all of that thing of figuring out what you have, and figuring out in their head, well, what have we got in the store that would go with that, and give you a styling service. You can turn that into an algorithm. So if you have a fitting room where you've got some clothes you've taken in, and you're there with your phone, you can use an RFID sensor with RFID tags on each of the garments to figure out what did you take in the changing room. You can also, with the Wi-Fi hotspot, sniff the phone, and if it's one you've seen before, you can probably link that to a point-of-sale purchase, and you can figure out what you bought in the past. So it starts to get a feel for your tastes. You stick that into an analytics engine, and you can do what's called go-with pairing. So the designer of the store says, well, this pair of black pants goes really nice with this shirt. You can then create a pick list automatically, looking at the store inventory to see what's in the store, give a map to the person, and show them, go pick up this item, this item, this item, and take it back to the changing room. You've semi-automated that process and made it more efficient, all because you have sensors. So the question is, what could you do with sensors? What kind of business could you change? How could you semi-automate something? Make life easier for people. So how could you make the world more responsive to human needs using sensors, data, and ultimately artificial intelligence? Which brings me to mechanical minds. For a long time, we as a species have used technology to make our lives easier. We created the plow, and we used horses and other sweaty beasts to drag a piece of metal through the soil and make it easier to turn over. We've created computers to start to do calculations for us. The original computers were people. We think of them today as computers, but they were people, largely women that worked in rooms like this and did lots of sums. If you haven't seen the movie Hidden Figures from earlier this year, you should see it. It will explain to you about how all this happened. One of the best movies of the year, by the way, and really fun too. So we have created objects and technologies to make life easier. Horses were replaced by mechanical horses. And now we've created mechanical muscles to do physical work for us. We're on the edge now of creating mechanical minds. This is chips and computers that are not optimized for doing sums, for adding 1, 1, and 2, and doing spreadsheets and PowerPoint presentations and the things that we use computers for today, but for doing the types of tasks that brains are really good at. This is a chip from IBM called True North, an experimental neural network chip, which it acts a lot like the human brain does. This is a chip that Intel just announced last week, I think, the Nirvana platform. This is going to accelerate artificial intelligence type of functions. Now, if you think about artificial intelligence as it is today, it is so primitive compared to where it is going to go. And it's primitive because we haven't accelerated it with hardware yet. So if you think about the way video games used to, well, you don't know, you're too young. Video games used to suck. They used to suck really bad because they were, 320 by 240 graphics, the old people in the audience will know this. We had games that were in 16 glorious colors. We're like, wow, look at the colors on this, 16 of them. we're at that level of gaming was the sort of the baseline, and then up from there, games are amazing now. They look like photographs, they look like movies. And they look like movies because we created these graphics chips to accelerate creating graphics. We're about to go through the same process for artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence today is like those really crappy games that old people like me had to play back in the day. Artificial intelligence, what kind of places are we using it? You're already using AI all day, every day. You just may not be aware of it. If you apply for credit for parents in the audience, that's going through an AI algorithm to assess whether you're a good risk or not. Pattern recognition, face recognition, object recognition, speech recognition, and natural language processing. So if you talk to Amazon Alexa, if you talk to Siri, you're using AI. If you post a photograph on Facebook or Snapchat and it automatically figures out who the face is in the image, that's using AI. It's using machine learning, deep learning. So you're already using AI all day, every day. How's it going to get used in the future? It's going to get used for prediction. AI is actually pretty good at predicting things. If you are in the stock market, mutual funds are funds of money investments done by humans. BlackRock has about, I think, $3 trillion, something $4 trillion under investment. They've already moved $300 billion over to investments that are under the guidance of AIs. And they're doing better than humans do. Sorry, I'm an Englishman powered by T most practically. Decision support. Businesses will use AI to help them make better quality decisions. Instead of using their gut, instead of using their guts, which is what most humans do to make some of the more complicated decisions, they use seas of data and they make much better quality decisions. Diagnosis. Your doctor will be working in partnership with an AI 10 to 15 years from now. Virtual personal assistants. Who likes Siri? You do? Wow. So, I mean, it's okay, but it kind of sucks. 3 years from now, those virtual personal assistants, Siri, Cortana, Alexa, they're going to get a lot more sophisticated. You're going to have a back and forth conversation with them. They will feel like your own personal assistant. And then autonomous machines we're going to come on to in a second. So AI is behind most of the developments that you will feel happening in your lives in the next 20 years. And AI has already started to be accelerated in your phone. Remember I said it's all about whether the hardware is there to make it better. The latest iPhone X, the latest Google Pixel 2, they have chips inside them. It's the very beginnings of chips designed to optimize AI tasks. So let's finish this up with some thoughts on autonomous machines. And you're already into robots, that's why you're here. So let's talk about that a little bit. Robots are becoming smart. It used to be that robots, for a long time, either were on the pages of science fiction novels, or they were building our cars. And that's really all they did. Because robots were too dangerous. Robots were trapped inside cages in factories. Because they couldn't be in the same space as humans. Because they couldn't see us. And if we got too close, and your head comes off, and that's not a good look. So robots now are able, because of AI, because of breakthroughs in object recognition, machine vision, powered by AI, they can see, hear, and understand the world around them. And that means robots can safely be in the same space as humans. And the robots are coming. You know this is why you're excited about this. This is why you're involved in building robots. But they're being used in all kinds of industries. And they're making a big change. Let me walk you through some of them. First thing that's happening is they're becoming easy to program. I mean, you probably do a lot of the programming to make your robots work. It's hard work. You have to be kind of a nerd to do that. It needs to be easier so that everybody can do it, not just the smart people. So this is a robot called Baxter. It costs $22,000, and you just move his arms and show him what he has to do, hit the button, and he does it. This is a robot called Harvey. Harvey is used in nurseries, where they have pots with plants growing, and as the plants grow, they have to thin out the pots and move them further away from each other. And it's back-breaking work for migrant labor. But Harvey and a few of his buddies, because they all collaborate and talk together, completely autonomously. They're not guided by someone with a remote control. Completely autonomously, they go up, they find the plants, they move them, and they thin them out to the distance that they're supposed to be. Pretty sweet. This is Sam 100. Sam 100 is a bricklayer. Sam 100 can lay bricks 3 times faster than a human. Now, he can't do it on his own. He still has to have a human to come up and clean up the mortar that squirts out between the bricks. He doesn't do that bit yet, but 3 times faster than a human. This one's called Relay. It's in a trial in a number of hotels in the US and other parts of the world. If you've been in a hotel and you want extra towels or a sandwich or something, and especially if it's late at night and you order room service and it comes to your room, and there's usually the creepy guy who has the jacket that doesn't fit very well. You know that guy? Have you ever seen that guy? And then he brings his stuff and you think, oh, just get him away from me. And then the last thing he does, what's the last thing the person does? Can I have a tip, please? So this robot, not creepy, no ill-fitting jacket, it comes to your room, it rings you on the phone in the room to say I'm outside, enter this code, you open the door, you enter the code, pops it open, you get your hot towels, whatever it is you ordered, no tip, no creepy guy. Pretty sweet. It even can talk to the elevator to tell the elevator what floor to take it to. This video I'm going to show you is of a really cool robot that does not exist yet. It's in development with a UK company called Moley Robotics, and it makes dinner. And it's, you buy it as a whole unit, so that's the robot arms, it's the sink, it's the oven, dishwasher, everything. And what you do is it uses motion capture to capture a famous chef or your friend who lives in a different country or just down the road, making food, and then it replicates that in your own kitchen. Now I warn you that the video, it's only about a minute, it's kind of cheesy, so just go with the cheese factor and enjoy the video. Cheesy. But I talked to this company, they're hoping to have this in market. It'll be a very high-end product to begin with, next year. So if they can pull this off, pretty impressive stuff. Another robot to talk to you about is Starship Technologies. This is the company behind Skype and PayPal. They created a robot for doing local deliveries, last mile deliveries. It has 6 wheels, trundles down the sidewalk. It lives inside a van with his buddies. The van drives into a neighborhood. The van driver loads up the robots and they scatter. And they go to all the different houses. They can make their way out of the van, down the sidewalk, to people's homes. This is a test in London. They come to your front door, they call you and say, I'm outside, and you come and grab the stuff just like the relay. And then they go back to the van and repeat. This company thinks they'll be able to do this for $1. Deliveries to your house for $1 in an hour. So when you're thinking about the companies you're inevitably going to start, you're all smart people, you're young, you're enthusiastic, that's why you're here this morning. Think about what are you going to do when you can deliver products to people's front doors for $1 in an hour. A big robot with seats and wheel inside it, or maybe not a wheel any sooner, autonomous vehicles. So we're going to have self-driving cars starting in market next year. Why? 40,000 Americans are killed in car accidents each year. 1.25 million people around the world are killed in car accidents. $76 billion worth of damage is done. So safer cars. 90% of accidents are caused by humans, especially when they're not paying attention on their phones. It's also better for our cities. We won't need as many parking lots. We'll have more parks. Traffic will improve. Lots of things will get better with self-driving cars. And it will allow us to do different things while we are moving from place A to place B. Even ships are going to be autonomous. This is the world's first autonomous ship. It will launch into the sea, into the water next year. It is also the first electric ship. Has room for about 100 containers, it's pretty small. Starts trials in Norway next year. It won't be autonomous to begin with, it will have people on it monitoring to make sure it doesn't do anything wrong, but by 2020 it will be running fully autonomously. You take a robot, put it in the sky, and it's a drone. And drones are not just for taking pictures of the top of your house anymore. You can do lots of things with drones. This is a guy who's got a powerful drone, and you can see he's having a whale of a time. Drones are becoming much more powerful, and they're going to be used lots of different places. This is a drone being used for agriculture. If you can spot blight in a field quickly, then you can treat that. It stops it spreading to the rest of your field, for example. Drones are getting arms, so they can actually do things in the world. This is a drone that's used as a lifeguard. So if it sees somebody that needs help, it can drop help to them in the water. Some drones are so powerful they can even pull people out of the water if they need rescuing. This is a different type of drone in Rwanda, where it's very hard to get medical supplies to people. So this particular drone, if you need help, you need blood, you can contact this blood bank and they will pick the type of blood that you need, pack it up. They have a drone on standby. The drone